What's up, everybody? If you want to join the greatest online Star Wars community, the Fandom Menace, make sure you hit that subscribe button before today's video starts, so you don't miss out on any updates and you're always the first to know when our newest videos go live.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
How? How can you screw this up? I mean, it was a sure thing. God damn it, Oh, hello there. You've come into the middle of a rant. I don't do this all the time, but when I do, it's probably because Disney is doing something stupid again with Star Wars. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, let me enlighten you. Our friend Grace Randolph, well, friend is a bit of a stretch. Actually, it's an outright lie. We don't know each other, and I'm okay with that. Grace Randolph sent out a tweet saying, "Okay, I triple-checked it with other sources. Hashtag Obi-Wan show is 100% having behind-the-scenes drama between hashtag Ewan McGregor and hashtag Disney. At the moment, the show is not canceled, but insiders say it's still something that could happen if this drama is not resolved. Hashtag Star Wars." Everybody loves drama, and there's always a lot of it surrounding Disney Star Wars. Since 2015, there's always been some sort of controversy around the hallowed franchise. First, it was calling fans racist for not loving Finn, or sexist for critiquing Rey. Then it was wrongfully placing the blame in the Kelly Marie Tran social media mishap. Then it was minimizing the fans' voice during the Last Jedi criticisms. Then it was scapegoating for Solo's failures. And there have been a lot of issues with the rise of Skywalker, which we've covered here on WCBS, and a whole slew that we haven't. This, however, this is different. There have been conflicting stories for the last few days. First, Forbes and the Rapper telling everyone all is well and that we should just move along, with Forbes saying, "Don't freak out about the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series." The Rap and I double-checked and got McGregor's reps to say that this was totally inaccurate and that the show was continuing on as planned in line with what's been previously announced. But Grace Randolph says different. She, Grace Randolph, pronouns pal, has sent out multiple tweets covering this story and sticking to her guns. As stated earlier, there's drama between Ewan McGregor and Disney. Some are speculating it's for creative differences. My guess is money, but for the sake of this video, let's talk about some of the possible creative differences. When an actor plays a character that they really care about, they feel some sort of ownership over that role. They become the custodians of the character. Let's just say, for the sake of this argument, Ewan McGregor feels that way over Obi-Wan Kenobi. This isn't a Harrison Ford situation where he doesn't give a shit about Han Solo and just is there for the paycheck. This is akin to Mark Hamill and how he feels about Luke Skywalker. Except Mark Hamill doesn't have the same pull in Hollywood as Ewan McGregor. Disney is hell-bent on bastardizing every Star Wars character they didn't create. They ruined Han, Luke, Leia, Lando, Darth Vader, the Emperor, R2-D2, and made Chewbacca a pet without agency. The new characters they created for this trilogy are all shit. They went out of their way to make the new characters seem important, but they couldn't even get that right. The original trilogy characters had to suffer for the sequel trilogy characters, and now that they're out of original trilogy characters to assassinate, it's time to move on to the prequels. When the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was announced, I was interested the minute I heard Ewan McGregor was on board. For all of the prequel trilogy's shortcomings, there's one thing most can agree on. Ewan McGregor was awesome as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Some would even argue he's better than Sir Alec Guinness in the role, but that's an argument for another time. Ewan McGregor was the main selling point for me. Yes, the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi looking after Luke on Tatooine sounds awesome, but it's a finite story, because we saw how it ends in the original Star Wars. There's only so much you can do in that time frame. He's not going to be able to leave Luke and go off planet each week for another swashbuckling adventure. That blows his cover, and you can't have a baddie of the week hunting after Luke in each episode. That would get tiresome, and from a story standpoint, dumb. I mean, after a while, word would have to get back to the Empire, and Vader would be sniffing around. Wait a second. Can Darth Vader actually smell in that thing? Nah, who gives a shit? This sounds ridiculous. The story thing, not the smelling thing, because that would not only ruin A New Hope, it would make a lot of the Empire Strikes Back not work as well. And you don't want a stupid Disney Plus show to ruin the two best Star Wars films. Period. If there is drama behind the scenes, I hope it's a case of Ewan McGregor being adamant on certain character development. Like I said earlier, he's the custodian of that role, and I don't want Disney to ruin him. You'd think that they, Disney, would have learned their lesson with The Mandalorian being universally praised and let Star Wars be Star Wars. Now you may be saying to yourself, Jeff, how do you know that it's Disney's fault and not Ewan McGregor's? Well, have you seen the sequel trilogy? Have you watched Solo? Have you seen how fans with dissenting opinions have been treated? Yeah, it's blatantly obvious who's to blame. We know that the sequel trilogy was filmmaking by a committee.
I am not a committee!
Oh, yes, you are. Sorry, Leia. When the Reddit leaks came out last week, we saw that Disney essentially took Star Wars away from J.J. Abrams and plugged in as much nostalgia in the hopes of winning over the most fans possible. What they got was the worst received film in the sequel trilogy, and the least successful of them as well. Those are just a few of the reasons why I don't blame Ewan McGregor. He's never given us anything but a good performance. Disney hasn't really given us anything. They just sucked the soul out of Star Wars. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. There's clearly a divide in the way that Star Wars is reported on. There's the pro-Disney side who loves everything, the anti-Disney side who hates everything, and the honest side who calls it like they see it. While The Mandalorian was a lot of fun and the best thing out of Disney Star Wars, it doesn't mean everything forward will reach that same level. Hell, Season 2 may not, but we can't say until we see it. But as I stated earlier, you can make assumptions about this based on Disney's past transgressions. Remember, these are the same people who allowed The Last Jedi to ruin Star Wars, and then try to slap together a film that attempted to fix the previous film, be compelling on its own, and close out a trilogy all at the same time. How'd that go again? If this show never happens, or does happen without Ewan McGregor, big mistake by the way, then Disney Plus loses a huge asset. As a free member, I fully admit there are some really good things about the service, and some really bad. In terms of Star Wars, outside of The Mandalorian, it's not really a selling point to have every Star Wars film available to stream all the time. I own the real ones on Blu-ray, and have had them on every format ever since I was a kid. I don't want to pay money just for the possibility to watch shit I already bought over a decade ago. Maybe Cassian Andor will be an awesome series, or maybe it'll be like him, average at best. Who knows? Time will tell. Star Wars deserves better and has since 2012. If every other Star Wars project Disney's going to announce never makes it past the conceptual stage, then it's time to donate Star Wars body to science. It's dead, Jim. So that's what we know right now in regards to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Like I said, if it doesn't happen, it's a big mistake. If it does happen, well, I just hope it's as good as it could be. And then again, I say that about every film because I always want films to be as good as they possibly be. Nobody really benefits from terrible Star Wars. We want it to be great, we want to have a good time, but we also have the right and the ability to call out bullshit from Disney Star Wars. And there's been a lot as of late, so hopefully this breaks the trend, but who knows? What I want to know is what you guys think of this situation. Who do you believe? Do you believe the Forbes reporting? Do you believe Grace Randolph's reporting? I mean, both people do have credible sources in the industry on other topics, but this is a weird one where we don't know which way the wind blows. But we may find out, we may never find out. Will Disney just secretly cancel this series, or will they publicly announce it? D23 is what, later in the year? I guess that was going to be their big announcement, but maybe they'll just fast forward and push the Mandalorian Season 2 ad so they have something to promote Disney Plus with in regards to Star Wars. Now, as a streaming service overall, Disney Plus is fine. They have the Marvel stuff. Parents just plop their kids in front of the TV and show Mickey Mouse cartoons on repeat all day because they're not worried about the development of their children. I get it. Look, the service is going to be fine with or without Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Star Wars is not going to be better without it. Because it's something we all know and love in terms of Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it could be awesome, it could be fun, and that's the most important thing we all need right now from Star Wars. So folks, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please, if you wouldn't mind, hit the thumbs up and take a moment to share this all over social media. We're growing, we'd love to grow even more, and we have all kinds of great content coming your way, so make sure that you are subscribed by hitting the subscribe button and have the bell notification turned on to all. Recently, one of our super fans reached out to me to let me know that YouTube unsubscribed him for the channel. Now, this wasn't a mistake on his part. This guy is a super fan. He comes all the way to meet us at conventions, bought 7 copies of the comic book at the highest tier possible. This dude is WCBS for life. But, lo and behold, he was unsubscribed from the channel. So please make sure that you're still subscribed, and if you found this video and you want more, then make sure you're subscribed as well. Speaking of more, we're over on Patreon, patreon.com/worldclassbs. We put content out there every week, including a World Class Bullshitters After Hours podcast, which is a lot of fun and it's a lot more raw and uncut. So if you like what we do here, well, you'll love what we do there. We also put up commentaries, videos, things about us, ways to meet us, ways to be on the show. All you got to do is check it out and figure out which tier is right for you. Also, if you're into the social media game, and it's 2020, so we know you are, find us over on Facebook, join our group, get involved with the community. 2019 was a very kind year for us, and 2020 is already setting us up in the right direction, so get involved, have some fun. We are the epitome of pop culture after all, and we'd love to have you. So folks, thank you for watching, and before I go, I'm going to ask you the same thing I do at the end of every video because I believe it, it's important, and everyone should be doing it. Go out into the world and be excellent to each other.